Hey YouTube, Patrick here with Team Bolshevik. I'm kicking off a new segment that I'm going to be putting on the channel for the next little while. I'm not quite sure what the name is. I guess you'll see what the name is up in the title. It's just going to be all about keeping Lightsworn and Lightsworn variants competitive, keeping them top tier, keeping them able to beat top tier decks. Because let's be honest with ourselves, Lightsworn players, the deck's not performing this format. It's not topping the way it should. I mean, it's not topping the way it did even last format. In last format, it wasn't a heavy contender or anything. So far, the only thing I've seen that has helped Lightsworn at all has been topping Greek Nationals, and that was a Twilight variant. I mean, a lot of the times you're going to see some decks that say, oh well, blank Sworn, and it's got like triple Ryko, or triple Celestia, or, you know, or not Celestia, but triple Lyla, you know. There was a Flamvel Sworn, quote, variant that topped a YCS, and the only Sworn thing about it was 3 Lyla. That's not really Lightsworn variant, I'm sorry, it's not. So, there's some problems with the deck, obviously, because it's not topping as it should. I'm just kind of exploring ways to make it competitive, keep it up there, save yourself from decks, you know, improve matchups with some other decks, etc., etc. The main competitive decks in this format, like, the meta's dead. There is no more meta. There are only decks that occur, or make appearances more often than other decks. There are no tiers anymore because there's just so many different decks. I mean, you can walk into a competition, you're never going to know what you're going to face. Six Samurai is obviously very out there. You're going to run the Six Samurai, you're going to run the Gravekeepers. Dragoonies haven't performed like they were expecting to. Karakuri has not performed like it was expected to. Frog Monarch will be relevant once Priority leaves. Fish OTK hasn't performed, E-Heroes haven't performed. Really, if you wanted to use a tier type thing, Tengu Synchro, Six Samurais, Gravekeepers and X-Sabers are top tier. So let's just go with that's what you're competing with. So the first thing about Lightsworns, just to say before I forget, I already have, I'm not profiling the whole deck. The whole deck will be listed down below, but you don't need to see that I'm running 2 JDs in Lightsworn. The first thing that I did to Lightsworns was I put in an extra Ryko. I was running 2, now I'm running 3. You need 3 to get over heavy hitter monsters that won't be destroyed otherwise, like Jain. It's a lot safer to run 3 Ryko. It's a good card anyways. Sticking 3, it's going to help your mill, it's going to add another name to your graveyard, you're going to draw into it more often. It's very rare that you're going to draw into a Ryko and say, shit, Ryko, damn, that's not what I want. It's going to be better than Card Trooper. Card Trooper I took out entirely, it's not worthwhile. It's milling your 3 cards. Sure, Ryko's a one-off, but it's a far better payback. Second thing, I'm running 1 Wulf. It's not consistent enough to be running any more than 1. No matter how many Wolves you run, you could run a half a Wolf, and you're still gonna draw it. It's gonna be dead in your hand. Solar Recharge is the solution to that problem, but there's no guarantee of drawing into Solar Recharge either. 1 Wolf makes the deck more consistent. I like Wulf. I'm making it sound like I hate him. I hate his ponytail. But Wulf isn't as good as it used to be. There are combos that you can pull off with Wulf, like Plague Glow Up Wulf. That's not a terrible combo, but how often is that going to happen? And are you going to keep your Plague and your Glow Up in your graveyard unused so that when you draw a Wulf you have that option? I don't think so. Wulf isn't that big of a monster anymore. 2100 late in the game isn't going to do you any favors. Unless you mill it first thing, or you get fortunate enough to be able to synchro with it or whatever, it's not going to do you any favors. Against the right deck, it will help, but not against, like, Tengu Synchro, for example. one will do you. Here's my favorite bit of tech. Triple Battle Fader. I took out Necrogardna and I took out Gores. I took out Gores because it's... I find that too many times you use Gores and then it dies right away. If you Gores on Shooting Star, then your opponent's just going to negate your token's attacks until they find some way to kill it. Necrogardna's only going to save you or your monster once, and then the next attack it's going to die. It's not worthwhile to run Necrogardna because if you mill it, it's a one-off, it's a one-time only thing. If you draw into it, you say, oh great, Necro is set, and then it just dies, and then you use it. Battle Fader, it ends the battle phase completely. No damage is taken whatsoever unless you have face-up attack this monster or whatever. But it limits what your opponent can do with the rest of their turn. Once you Fader things like Glad Beasts, they can't really attack and then tag out as much as they would if they had the sack field going on. There's not really much more I can say about Battle Fader. It's going to save you games, and that's it. It's an extra chance to draw into a card that you need. You're just going to last that one extra little turn. And, it's just good to prevent damage, too. I mean, it's not worst case scenario card. Save yourself, 1,800 life points. That's another bomb with JD. It's not a bad card. I tried out. Definitely tried out. Go on the Dueling Network, try this card out. Thunder King. I think Lightsworn has to run Thunder King because it has no other defense from cards like Shooting Star and Red Nova Dragon, unless you're willing to run like Compulsory and D-Prisons, which isn't a terrible idea, but the thing about Thunder King is that it's a 1900 beater, it's a 4-star, you can just summon it, it's a light type, you can Honest it, it's just all around good. I'm running 1 right now, but that's not because I don't want to run 2, that's just because I don't have to. I would even try it with 3. I just try it out. If you've got 3 and you want to build Lightsworns, try it in your main deck. You don't know what's going to happen, right? It's just all around good. It's your only defense against bigger monsters, right? Bigger synchro monsters like Shooting Star that can't beat Darkhold, I'm not running Decree. Decree doesn't work. Decree's too defensive. Decree's too anti-meta. If you run 3 Decree, then you're just going to wait until you draw it, and then you activate it. You should diversify your trap lineup with, I like double Trapstone, double Beckoning, double Bottomless, and in fact, I don't even like Solemn Warning Lightsworns. That's why I'm showing these at all. Bottomless Trap Hole will do everything that Solemn Warning would. The only thing for Solemn Warning is that it's got that advantage of negating the summon, so, i.e. Stardust, But Bottomless is nice, it doesn't have a cost, it removes from the graveyard. It's just good. One more thing I wanted to say about the main deck. I'm not running Gareth. I've seen variants that don't run Aurkus, or don't run Jain. I don't run Gareth. Gareth doesn't mill if he's the only thing sitting there. Gareth mills too much sometimes, and the draw thing doesn't really work. Gareth's just okay, and that's all I have to say about it. It's not really worth running in your main deck when you have cards like Thunder King. To me, at least. That's my stance, and I think it's been working out pretty well. Once again, it's just another name. If you're finding you have problems with JD being in your hand, not having enough in the graveyard, then yeah, I guess put him in. Another thing, on that note, I'm not running Foolish Burial either. I find it just takes up an extra space in the deck, and it's something else, like take it out for something like a Battle Fader. I don't know. You're not going to die because you don't have Foolish. You're just not. You're not going to Foolish your Necro anymore, so that's another, take it out for that. Last thing I gotta say about Lightsworns. Mistworm. How often in Lightsworns are you synchroing into 9? Answer me. Answer me that, YouTube. Comment. 9s are important. You need at least one, but you don't need to run out and spend $75 on a box of Hidden Arsenal 4 or $50 on a single Trishula, because you're not going to synchro into 9 that much. And when you do, Mistworm will serve just a good purpose, you know? You're going to clear their field instead of just taking out one card. Mistworm's just going to do the job as good or better than Trishula is. I mean, Trishula is a better card all around, but for the deck, you don't need to spend the money on a Trishula. That's what I have to say about that. Once again, I'm posting the entire deck list down below in the comments or the description bar. So check that out, give me feedback, tell me what you think. I'll be back with the other deck variants. I'm going to do Zombie Sworn, Twilight. I'm not going to do Blackwing Twilight, but I'm going to do Zombie Sworn and Twilight for sure. And I'm probably going to do Flamvell Sworn, now that I think of it too. I'm going to take those decks, I'm going to decide which one works best. I'm not just testing it locally, I'm going to be testing it on the Dueling Network as well. But there's so much Exodia on the Dueling Network. So yeah, I'll be posting these as quickly as I can. This is just step 1. I haven't been thoroughly testing the other 3 decks. I mean, Zombie Sworn, or Flamvell Sworn, I haven't even done that up yet. I might even try and create my own Lightsworn variant to see how well that works. But I have tested out Twilight and Zombie Sworn just a little bit, and so far Zombie Sworn is far better than Twilight. There is tweaking that needs to be done for both decks though. But back to Lightsworn, this variant of Lightsworn, it works. It works better than anything else I've ever played with Lightsworn. I think it works better than Christie Sworn, which has been running a lot now too. I'm not even going to bother with Christie Sworn. But Lightsworn as a deck is the best of the Lightsworn variants that I've seen so far. I'm just rambling now, but of these decks, I'll be very surprised if I come and I say Lightsworn isn't the best of these variants. That's really all I had to say. Just to let you know, it's going to be happening. Subscribe, comment, rate, subscribe, view more videos. Team Bullshit.